All right, so have you ever, I don't know, gazed into a crystal ball? Or maybe you're the type who pores over stock market charts trying to decipher the future.
Who hasn't, right?
Exactly. We all crave a glimpse of what lies ahead. But then there are figures like Pastor Brandon Biggs who've taken this fascination with forecasting to a whole other level.
He's really become a lightning rod lately, hasn't he?
Totally. And today, we're doing a deep dive into his world because this isn't just some vague, oh, the future is uncertain kind of thing. We're talking about very specific predictions rooted in religious faith that have people both captivated and concerned.
Yeah, and what's got everyone talking is his prediction about the July 13th assassination attempt on former President Trump.
Right, that's the thing. It's not just that he predicted some kind of political turmoil, but he got really specific, really eerie details, right?
The date, for one, but also the detail about the bullet, how it nearly hit Trump's right ear. And then, of course, there's the image of Trump kneeling in prayer right after, which Biggs interprets as this moment of, spiritual rebirth.
Wild, right? So that's where we're diving into today, this fascinating and kind of unsettling blend of prophecy, economics, and, maybe even a touch of end times thinking.
It's definitely resonating with a lot of people. I mean, Biggs was already known for his political forecasts.
Right.
But it's this latest series of predictions, especially the ones about a global financial crisis, that have really put him on the map.
And that's where we got to start, with this financial earthquake he keeps talking about. Imagine, just for a second, a world where the dollar collapses, completely tanks. Gone. Loses 2/3 of its value almost overnight. That's what Biggs is claiming. And he's even given us a timeline.
Between September 2024 and December 2025.
Gives me chills just thinking about it.
It's a very bleak picture he paints. He makes the Great Depression sound like a minor economic blip.
Yeah.
And he even throws out a specific date. October 24th.
Wait, October 24th? Doesn't that send shivers down your spine? That's the anniversary of the 1929 stock market crash.
Exactly. It's he's deliberately invoking that date to tap into this collective sense of fear and uncertainty. It's a powerful tactic, whether you believe his predictions or not.
Totally. But it gets even more, bizarre, I guess, when he starts talking about this wealth transfer that's going to happen during this financial meltdown.
Right. What does that even mean?
It's super vague.
It's this concept is central to his whole message, but when you actually try to pin down the specifics, it's frustratingly unclear. He just keeps saying the current system will crumble, and then those he deems deserving will, reap the rewards.
So a Robin Hood of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But with no real explanation of how it all goes down.
Exactly. And that lack of clarity, it makes you wonder, right? Is he being intentionally vague so he can't be proven wrong? Or does even Biggs not fully grasp how such a massive societal shift would actually work?
It's a good question. Would you want to bet your life savings on this guy? Right. Especially with the kind of advice he's giving people about how to survive this supposed economic apocalypse. You ready for this? It's the usual suspect.
Gold.
Bingo.
And silver.
Of course. But hold on, because the numbers he's throwing around, let's just say they're not for the risk averse.
He's talking about gold hitting, get this, $10,000 an ounce.
$10,000. That's more than 4 times what it is now. And silver, don't even get me started, he's predicting a jump to $170 an ounce.
It's mind-boggling. And it's really split people into two camps. On the one hand, you have all the financial experts, right? The analysts, the commentators. They're basically waving their arms, yelling, "This is crazy, don't do it."
Right, they're it's reckless speculation, there's no way.
Exactly. But then you've got this other group, people who are already on edge about the economy, maybe feeling like the system's rigged against them, and Biggs's message. It's like music to their ears.
Totally. It's he's giving them permission to opt out, to take control of their financial future.
And it creates this really fascinating self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing, right? The more people who believe it, the more potential impact it could actually have on the markets. But here's where Biggs's message takes this whole other turn into seriously out there territory.
You mean the part where he links this whole economic meltdown to a spiritual awakening? Because, that's where I start to feel like I'm in over my head.
Yeah, you can't ignore that part because it's the whole foundation of his message. It's not just about hoarding gold and riding out the apocalypse, It's about this fundamental shift in human consciousness.
Okay, I gotta admit, that's a little out there for me. But then he connects it to stuff like brain-computer interfaces. And this is where I'm wait, what?
It does start to sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Totally.
But Biggs is serious. He argues that these advances in neuroscience, particularly these brain-computer interfaces that can actually interact with our brains, well, he thinks they could potentially unlock, like, dormant psychic abilities.
Wait, like telekinesis? Mind reading? Precognition?
That's what he's suggesting. Like, these abilities are already within us, just waiting to be activated. And he sees this coming crisis combined with these technological advances as the trigger, the thing that propels us into this, like, new era of consciousness.
Whoa. So let's, like, bring it back down to earth for a second and talk about how people are reacting to all of this, because I can only imagine it's causing quite a stir.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got a whole spectrum of responses. On one end, you've got the skeptics, right? Yeah. Financial analysts, political commentators. They're the ones raising the red flags, saying, look, there's absolutely no historical precedent for this kind of economic collapse.
It's total BS. This guy's a fraud.
Right. And they love to point out that, this whole wealth transfer thing, it's so vague. It's like a convenient way for Biggs to avoid actually being held accountable when it doesn't play out exactly as he describes.
But then you have the other side, the believers, the people who are all in on Biggs's vision. And for them, that assassination attempt prediction, that's like exhibit A, proof positive that this guy is the real deal. They're like, he's got a direct line to, someone up there, who knows?
Something like that. And it really does come down to faith, doesn't it?
Right.
Like, who do you trust? Your gut, your own analysis of the markets? Or do you put your faith in someone like Biggs, who claims to have these insights that are, like, beyond the reach of, Wall Street and all that?
It's a tough one, especially when you're talking about something as important as your finances, your future. But what really gets me, though, is like, what about the people who can't afford to just, stockpile gold? Where do they fit into this whole wealth transfer scenario?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's one that Biggs doesn't really address. It's almost like in his version of the future, economic disparity, it's just a given. Like, it's a necessary part of this whole spiritual evolution thing.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we've covered a lot of ground here, from assassination attempts to economic collapse to, like, psychic powers. It's a lot to process.
It really is. But I think the biggest takeaway here, the thing to remember, is just how important critical thinking is. Like, whether you listen to Biggs's predictions and you're terrified, or you're excited, or you just think it's all completely bonkers, the important thing is to engage with it. Don't just take it at face value.
Right, like, do your own research.
Exactly. Look at it from different angles. And maybe most importantly, trust your own judgment.
Because, let's face it, none of us actually knows what the future holds. But by staying informed, by being willing to ask tough questions, and maybe even keeping an eye on the price of gold just in case, well, at least we're facing whatever comes our way with our eyes wide open.
That's all we can really do. And you know what? Maybe that's a more powerful message than any prophecy, right? Yeah. We're not just passive observers. We actually have a role in shaping the future.
Totally. Through the choices we make, what we believe, how we act, and hey, who knows? Maybe along the way, we'll even unlock some of those psychic powers.
Stranger things have happened.
That's for sure. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back soon with more thought-provoking topics and, as always, plenty of questions to keep you guessing.